Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Yeah, made time for this one. Decided to drink that proverbial poison and check out the animated sequel. There seems to be a pattern that Disney likes to fall back on when there's a noticeable drop in quality in certain sectors of their creative output. For a while, the live-action films were a craze that wasn't met with warm reception. Then came the typhoon of straight-to-DVD sequels of previously established films. And even today, we're smack dab in the middle of the current storm of live-action remakes. And even their sequels. Seriously, in the future, somewhere between 5 to 10 years from now, the live-action remakes will end. Disney will go back to making quality animated films like Tangled and Zootopia for a time. But then in another 10-ish years, I'm calling it, mark my words, they're gonna make animated remakes of their live-action movies. Just you wait. Fully animated Old Yeller, The Parent Trap, Homeward Bound, Angels in the Outfield. Don't act like the fear isn't setting in! The direct-to-DVD sequels certainly have a muddied reputation with only like a handful of bright spots in that pitch black. But we're not here to talk about those. No, that would imply that I like myself. Instead, we're talking about one of the worst offenders. I have seen enough reviews to know what I'm getting myself into, but I really didn't want to make time for this. But what can I say? The badge of dishonor for sitting through this was too good to pass up. That's a phrase for it anyway. This is my honest opinion of Mulan II. 1 month after saving China, happy couple Fa Mulan, reprised by Ming-Na Wen, and now General Shang, reprised by B.D. Wong, are now officially tying the knot and are getting married. However, celebrations are cut short when they are both summoned by the Emperor, reprised by Pat Morita, to inform them that the neighboring kingdom of Qigong is threatening to invade. The only thing holding back the invading forces is the promised arranged marriage between Qigong's 3 sons to the Emperor's 3 daughters. Tasking Mulan and Shang to escort them and protect them against bandits, the loving couple face their own relationship issues as guardian dragon Mushu, voiced by Mark Mosley, tries to sabotage their love so his job as a guardian remains intact. I don't know how anyone can defend this. It's awful. It's a damn travesty. Watching this, I was frothing at the mouth. I had to pace back and forth to level out my anger. Seeing as I only have a couple of nice things to say about this, I'm getting that out of the way. The backgrounds and some lighting can be pretty good, and the only good character in the movie is Cricky. That's it, moving on! The first bright neon red flag was literally the opening minute on Mushu being an absolutely unlikable prick. He walks around like he owns the ancestors in a way that would make Kuzco rethink his life. Seriously, he makes the ancestors blow bubbles in his bath to simulate a jacuzzi. He makes them put a robe on him. It's who the hell would go along with this? He helped Mulan save China. Why bother letting him abuse his renewed job as an official guardian? How does he deserve this level of pandering? We're in the opening minute, people. It doesn't get much better from here. Now, I'm aware that direct-to-DVD animation is sadly scaled back, so I shouldn't be surprised to see a downgrade. But there are DVD sequels that put forth effort into them. This, however, is awkward as hell. It's all bouncy. The character designs are so pointed, it almost feels like this isn't even supposed to be related to the original flick. But subpar animation doesn't mean that the movie is automatically bad. If you haven't seen Sergeant Stubby, An American Hero, I highly recommend that as an example. Not the best animation, but a staggeringly good movie that more than made up for it. Mulan II does not have a good story. Remember how Mushu was unlikable in that opening minute? He's not the only character who gets an insulting downgrade. Because of the arranged marriage, Mulan is sad for the 3 daughters and frequently vocalizes her concerns. First off, shut up! Not your place! Not by a long shot. Second, perspective, woman! If the daughters don't marry the Qigong sons, then Qigong will invade China. And the Emperor clearly states that his own forces will be no match and China will be defeated in war. The lives of thousands, millions of innocent people are at stake. And you're getting pissy about 3 unhappy princesses who know their places as royalty with responsibilities. How can you call yourself a hero if you're not acknowledging this basic crap? In fact, no one does. The threat of invasion is never brought up again in the flick. It's like that little nugget of knowledge meant nothing, even to the writers. Mushu is along for the ride and his character never improves. Returning comic relief Yao Ling and Chien Po don't respect what the princesses are doing and fall for them. Hell, even Princess Mei, voiced by Lucy Liu, doesn't give 1 second of thought to the people of China. So many characters in this movie are selfish. Oh sure, you can argue that Ting Ting, voiced by Sandra Oh, tries to keep her sisters honest, and for a while, I liked her character. But even she turns right around, not giving a crap about her responsibilities and the fate of China. So all that goes right out the window. In fact, let's talk about the princesses for a moment. Selfishness aside, these characters are almost anti-Disney. What do I mean by that? Already, the Disney princess moniker is fraught with controversy, as most princesses in Disney seem to be designed solely to be pretty, but not take their responsibilities seriously, which is a damning and even anti-feminist message to send to young, impressionable girls. This may not be the case for all of them, but this is difficult to argue when you look even close enough at the vast library of Disney princess-centric stories. However, you can at least occasionally give credit that these stories have good intentions. But these princesses are almost the antithesis to being a Disney princess. They go into a whole song and dance number about foregoing their responsibilities and not even wanting to be princesses. In any other story, and in a better movie here, this could have worked, and has worked in other stories before. But no well-written character would sacrifice thousands upon millions of lives for selfish reasons, lest they want to be viewed as villains. As far as I'm concerned, that's everyone in this movie. Shang and Cricky are the only protagonists worth cheering for, but even that doesn't hold much water. Shang is a grade A jerk to Mulan as they fight over petty stuff and nearly costs them their relationship. And Cricky is only interested in keeping Mulan and Shang together to be a foil to Mushu. He's not the least bit concerned about the fate of China. Oh my god. Even when things come to a head, nothing changes when change was practically gift-wrapped. Mushu's actions are revealed to Mulan, Shang gets a fake-out Aragorn-style death, and in the aftermath of losing him, the princesses and comic relief trio say that they're going to go through with the mission. Perfect! Honoring Shang's sacrifice. Sad that it cost them the life of a general of the army, but I guess a weaker reason to do the right thing is better than the exact opposite. I'll take it. I'll freaking take it. Movie over. Wrap this up. Let's go home, everybody. But in what feels like a picosecond worth of hope, Mulan does the unthinkable. She says no. Her plan is to wed the Emperor's eldest son to bring peace to China instead of the princesses, and they can go gallivanting wherever they please. Just great. I love how the Qigong advisor dude's trying to spin this like a decorated war hero is somehow an even more powerful marriage than marrying princesses. I highly doubt that. Call me ignorant to ancient Chinese balances of cultural power, but I'm declaring that as a steaming load. It's also around this time that they try to give Mushu his humanity back, and we're supposed to forgive him, even though he's done jack all to earn it. Even Mulan said that his actions are unforgivable when he confessed. So much for that. Ooh, but he poses as the Dragon of Unity or whatever and fools the Qigong Emperor to stop the marriage altogether. And this is also supposed to be a half-assed prevention of invasion. You know, I don't love the original film like most fans do. I think it's good for what it is. I respect that China is not very fond of it because of its inaccurate depiction of Chinese culture. I won't argue this. But I am so curious what they would think of this. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if China didn't even know there was a sequel to the film. The first one wasn't even that beloved, so how could a straight-to-DVD sequel be better? I wouldn't be shocked if they just absolutely ignored it. God, I hope that's the case, because I feel like only one of two things would happen. One, it would start World War III. Or it would be so bad and so insulting to Chinese culture that it would somehow swing right back around and be kind of beloved for how bad it is. Almost like it's a parody of their culture. That it's like, oh my god, look at these Americans thinking like, that's how we are. It's too funny. It's so insulting that it's hilarious. Sure, Disney wouldn't be painted in the best of light and Americans would look pretty goddamn dumb, but stranger things have happened. Either way, no matter what you say about the original film, whether you love it, or if you're like me and you just kind of like it, or you're others who just think it's okay, at the very least, even China, when comparing to this one, can at least say, yeah, well, they had their hearts in the right place. It's not politically correct, but by God, they tried. They tried. You cannot say that about this movie. It's awful. It has no positive messages that aren't trampled by questionable morals and a lack of narrative intelligence. Nearly every character is unlikable, and what few that are not given justice or are so far removed from more important matters that likability amounts to nothing. This is an embarrassment. I implore all parents, do not show your kids this movie. Show them the 1964 operatic musical or the 2009 Mulan Rise of a Warrior, if you don't mind the brutal imagery and the adult themes. But this is a punishment for kids, not a treat. My honest rating for Mulan II, a 1 out of 5. And that concludes my Mulan marathon. I know there's plenty of other movies out there, but I set out to see the ones that I wanted to see. And one that I didn't want. Oh well, let's just see how the live-action remake fares. I doubt it's going to be good, but I can't imagine it's going to be worse than this. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon.